What's this? Oh, gum, thank God. What's this?
Caroline pies.
Oh, why'd you give me gum?
Yeah, I just did that too.
Well done, Becky. What kind of what's in them?
It's like a rice filling, rice and butter with a rye crust.
Really simple, really good.
Anyone else?
Does anyone have any egg butter?
That's tasty. Oh, this is so up your alley, Becky.
Yeah, it totally is. This is so good.
The middle is the best part.
Thank you.
What?
I got my
Did
back.
you make these?
I'll take
No.
Oh.
You learned to make those at school in the cooking class? We're in the lower grade.
Really?
Yeah, that's just the basic thing everybody does.
Anyone?
Hey Becky, do you want to pose with that? Right? Here we go, thanks.
I like the fact that we are gathered in front of a Russian monument.
Do you ever put like jam on it?
No, not really. We put butter or like egg butter.
Yeah, egg butter. You mix egg and butter. You just boil eggs and then you mush them up and then put butter in and then we mix it all up. That's what we always do.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, wow.
Is that?
A fighter attacked. It begins. So it begins.
It begins? What do you mean it begins? What am I here for?
Russia freaking invades.
Is this the thing on every Finn's mind? Like, is every day is like, does it begin yet?
I'll stand next to the
Not today. Not today, kids.
Yeah.
You guys all have to do a mandatory stint in the military, right?
Yeah. Unless you can do social services.
You guys you're able to get out? They let you out for a bit?
Yeah, for the week.
Okay. Is it a social taboo not to do it?
Yeah.
Kinda. Right.
Is
Unless
it
you have a
like
good
bonding
excuse like
thing,
medical. New intake, maybe, like media stuff.
She's now studying. Graduated.
Is there a lot of people that are?
Se vaan piteli sitä ei ole. Niin olikin.
Hello there. This is 3 weeks and...
I'll talk to you guys later. Tomorrow, Sunday, there might be a new meetup.
It's so much easier when we have the guys too, because then there's 5 of us to like spread out. We try not to spend any time together.
Hey, there's one. Yeah, this look on his face like, how you feeling today?
That was
A little
great.
rough. A little rough. Okay.
That's cool.
That's
You
why.
do something.
Yeah, that was like grade, like my first day of grade 11.
Well, you got one of the... What? You got one of the second adjustments of the,
Oh yeah.
of the shirt that I did. I added saturation. I'm thinking about toning it back down again. Because, sorry, I'm just gonna go... It's funny because like I do the spreadshirt stuff and I made adjustments to this design to increase the glow on Kyle's face, but I feel like I've made his face too red now.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And I think I'm gonna tone it down a bit. And he's got one blue eye and one red eye. So anyways, we should get some pictures. So who didn't get a picture yesterday of the bar? Only a few. Okay, and we need to do a new picture. Because our picture looked terrible. I asked these like, we did a really close selfie, I guess, or like at least the camera was really close to the flash, and like I got like bags under my eyes. I'm like, oh my god, that looks horrible. All right, well, let's do it while we got good sun. Man, that statue's butt is nice.
Green light.
Nice. It's still a pretty big meetup. I'm also gonna tweet. Fraser, you walk. Hey? Oddly. I walk oddly? Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, but there's like, I don't know.
Explain yourself.
Keep going up to the stairs. Oh.
I've had a better day.
Hey? What is that?
We do?
smell good because the salmiakki coming off of me, and maybe just the Becky smell coming off her.
Yeah. It smells like coconut or peppermint.
Yeah. You come up for next too. All right, you two. Yeah, we'll do it. Whoever gets down here first, and go back to your seat now. Yeah, so we ended up getting like maybe a third the group. I didn't think we'd get so many today. Hey, you'll Photoshop them in?
Yes.
Like really badly? Okay. All right. Is your friend a girl?
Yes.
Okay.
It's been a really long time. Ups and downs, really. So, I mean, I pride myself in the fact that I've seen all the episodes.
Everyone?
Yes. Except that I have skipped over the Meetup, sort of the newest ones. It will fresh!
Nobody's feeling it today. Remember yesterday, like anything anybody did up here, people were like, yeah! I loved that. Not so much.
It's Sunday.
Yeah, it's Sunday. We
Lazy
were out late
Sunday.
last night. Everybody, I was surprised how much everybody drank real early at the bar.
Yeah, totally.
You guys
Vince
really
can
friggin'
drink.
tied one on.
Oh my god.
We want to get somebody's going to start a Facebook group for all Finnish VGA fans.
I already did.
Bye guys.
Started one.
Bye.
VGA Finland.
Maybe you could come over to this side.
This side?
Yeah.
Like this?
How are we? Hello, my lovely viewers. I am here witnessing a little bit of a miracle because I'm here with Becky and Fraser from Video Games Awesome, and I'm in Helsinki, Finland. I don't think many of us actually expected that this would ever happen.
Do it again. That's a good idea.
Okay.
Talk into it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You should get somebody to be a sound man.
I don't have any kind of a pole or anything.
All he has to do is do this. Am I out of frame here?
No, now you're out of frame.
All you need is a guy who goes like this, because I know the range of these things. It's
Okay.
pretty good. You could go, who wants to be a guy who just does this and points to the person who's talking? Bonefoot's into it. So just sit like that.
You can add it to your resume.
Our first trip to PAX, that's what Ben did the whole time.
Hello, my lovely viewers. I am here witnessing a little bit of a miracle.
Awesome. All right. Good job, Bone.
Thank you.
I saw you propping up your arm at one point.
Yeah. I remember doing that at PAX too. You'd have like your knee rests.
Yeah. Thanks for everybody coming today because like we needed this to wrap it all up. And before we end, we'll give everybody a hug. And if you wanted to talk to us for a little bit as we were
Oh, I want
doing
to grab
that.
my ingredients.
Hey? Yeah, let's do a quick Q&A then to end this off. If anybody had final questions that weren't personal or anything like that, you can ask them and then, yeah, go ahead. So he was saying like earlier, everybody remembers how I constantly repeat that we're not a review show because people would be like, what's your rating of the game? And I don't want to ever give back because reviewing takes comprehensive knowledge of the game, and I can't do that unless I'm going to get comprehensive. I'm going to play it through comprehensively. But it is true, like more and more I've been like giving my opinion as somebody who sees a lot of video games. I'm always going to give my, at the top of the shows especially, initial impressions. And I think that's not a review. You're just seeing, it's the same as like a friend having played a game, I think, and just saying what he thought of that first hour, you know. Especially on our show, what you're seeing on the other side, graphics-wise, might not really be translating. I always want to point out the stuff that might not be getting across with our tilted screen and the compression on Twitch and stuff. But I do think that people are interested in my opinion on it. And the show's dynamic has also changed a little bit. There was a time where VGA, and I think that there's still a room for this, where VGA was pop in a game and be real stupid with it. And especially with the guys there too, and just make jokes and just like, it doesn't, yeah, let's play Valorant, but it doesn't have to be a joke game. I mean, if you go back to the Deus Ex days with just Ben and I, and we didn't take anything seriously, we just started like screwing around from the beginning. Some people hated that, some people loved it. That happens still sometimes. We're always feeling out what the show should be and how it should feel, but it's, I can't hold my opinion back sometimes. But again, it's not the opinion of somebody who's, I think it's very clear, I make it very clear that this is coming from somebody who's just popped the game in. I just want to say what I think compared to other titles and stuff like that. Especially when...
Do you think we still like celebrate the games as we play them?
I'd say that we're still pointing out the awesome, enjoying the awesome. I would hope. I try not to get jaded about games. It is true that the more you play, the less impressed you become by some games.
Actually, I was hoping we could huddle together or take another group picture.
Oh yeah, we can do that. Let's do that. I'm gonna sit up here. Actually, I'm gonna get in the middle this time. I'm always in front. All these hugs, I'm gonna be full of love. They are here to friend for me. Making way more money off you guys.
Really?
I got off.
Here we go. It's 8:30 in the morning. I am back at my home city, making the walk back. Hello, I'm home. It's a week later and I wanted to film a little wrap up to my adventure. The reason I'm doing this so late is because I got really sick after the trip. I think many others did too. I woke up Wednesday on a pretty high fever and I was sick for the rest of the week and didn't go to work. I promised you guys I'd tell you about my failed arrival at Helsinki, so I'll start with that. So you already know this was my first time traveling on a train. The train was scheduled to arrive at Helsinki at exactly 10 o'clock. The train stopped at 9:30 for like 15 to 20 minutes and I was already panicking. Are we in Helsinki yet? Should I step off? But it didn't look like a big station, so I just stayed put. Then at like 9:50 the train started moving again, and then about 6 minutes later we arrived at this big station. It was 9:56 and I was like, this has to be the Helsinki Central Station. So I took my backpack and stepped off the train, and pretty much just seconds after the train starts moving again, and I was like, oh shit. So I went up this escalator to the actual station and I saw this big billboard full of just trains that are going to Helsinki Central Station. And then I was like, ah shit. I went up to this big map that they had on the wall and looked at it and realized I was at the Pasila station. Then I went up to one of these touchscreen ticket buying machine things and I tried to buy a ticket to Helsinki. I don't know what was up with the machine, but it just wouldn't accept it. Then I went back to the big map on the wall. It was right outside the station, and before I even had any time to ask someone some advice or anything, this old guy came up to me, and I swear this guy, he was a spot-on lookalike of Charles Manson. I don't remember exactly what he said to me at first, but I think he asked where I was going or something. I probably looked a bit lost, and I explained my situation to him, and he was like, oh, well, I'm taking the tram that way right now, so you can tag along with me if you want to. And I was like, sure, that's the way to get there. I have no idea how to work this train station, so let's take a tram. It's pretty close, so it shouldn't take long either. So we started walking towards the tram stop, and the way to the tram stop was a little weird and there were no people around, so for a split second I thought he was gonna mock me, but it was fine. We got to the tram stop and sat down for a second. He asked me about my hat and stuff. He said he goes on that tram every day. Then this one woman comes to the stop and starts talking to me too, and she said she liked my northern hat. And then she explained to me that this particular tram stop is known for being used by weirdos and drunks and stuff, and I was like, what? And right as she finished saying that, this other old dude came up and started talking to me and asking me if I wanted the job. I was like, I'm not from here and I already have a job. And then he just went on and on about how he has worked so hard every day of his life at like some construction jobs. I was like, okay, I don't care. And then the woman that I was just talking to just quietly under her breath went, shut up. And the guy heard it and he just flipped like holy shit. He started yelling and screaming and went up to her face and was like, you fucking bitch, you don't talk to me like that. Fucking women of today don't know how to act. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then the guy who I came to the tram stop with started hitting him with his bag and telling him to fuck off. And then finally the guy calmed down a bit and just went off to the side a little bit. And then the tram came, we all stepped in. It was only 3 euros for a one-time ticket, which was good. And then me, Charles Manson and the woman sat down together. And then the Charles Manson lookalike started talking about all the time he has been to prison. I was like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. I could hear the guy who flipped out yelling and screaming at some other person on the other side of the tram, and I was like, oh god, what a freaking introduction to Helsinki. Then I thanked the Charles Manson guy for helping me out, and he stepped out of the tram a little bit earlier than me. And then a little bit later I was at the Helsinki Central Station and everything was good. But yeah, that was my great introduction to Helsinki. It was something. I had 2 turbos, Sakaro and Zeronium, waiting for me at the station, and Sakaro was a local, so he showed us around the city. We went to a few places, including the Moomin shop, where I got a little addition to my hat. We walked around, had something to eat, and later went on to have a few beers. And then later that night, Grandol arrived at Helsinki, another turbo, and we went for a couple more beers. And then I went to my hotel and filmed that hotel tour and stuff. I think you've mostly seen everything else that happened in the videos. One thing that I didn't get footage of, unfortunately, was me giving my gift to Fraser and Becky. It was one of these hats, but someone kind of stole my thunder by giving one to them already before I had the chance. But that's fine, 2 is better than 1. I think that's pretty much all I have to say. It was an incredible trip, I had a blast. Meeting Fraser and Becky was a little awkward for me, honestly. Not because of them, they're really friendly and nice, but everything had been so hectic before the trip that I think I had been just stressing out that everything would go well at the meetup. I was sort of put in charge of organizing everything, or at least looking over it. So when it finally actually came time to meet them, I realized I had not put a single thought into what I would want to say to them. And I'm not good at coming up with things to say on the spot, so I kinda was just quiet. It was a little awkward for me, but they're really nice, so it wasn't too bad. Another funny thing that happened was when I first arrived at the meetup location. This also happened at the pre-meetup, but it was much larger scale at the actual meetup. There was this huge group of people at the site already, and when I was walking up there, all of a sudden just everyone's heads turned straight towards me, and I was like, oh god, should I say something? I was a little terrified. I didn't know what to do, so I just awkwardly stood around somewhere. But it was all fine after a few seconds. A lot of the people there started approaching me and introducing themselves and talking to me, which I was much more comfortable with than going out myself. Anyways, that should be all. It was an awesome weekend. I really hope I get to meet everyone again sometime in the future. We're already planning our own Finnish VGA fan meetups and stuff, but I know I'll meet Fraser and Becky again in the future. I'm definitely going to one of the PAXes, so hopefully then I'll actually have something to say to them instead of just being quiet. I wanted to end this video by thanking a few individual people who made my own personal trip a little bit better. I want to thank Sakaro, Zeronium and Grandall for keeping me company pretty much the whole weekend, but especially on Friday. And I want to thank Joel for arranging that Parliament tour for Fraser and Becky and managing to get me on board as well. Thank you, that was a lot of fun. And also Kelnias and Reapers for hanging out with me at the Thirsty Scholar pretty much all night. It was a lot of fun. That's all. Torilla tavattiin.